MindShifter Audio Blog, a place for your mind to grow.
The cultural water we're swimming in. You weren't born believing what you believe. Someone taught you. Your family, your community, your country installed ideas in your mind before you could even speak. And you likely never questioned whether these ideas were actually true. You just accepted them as reality because everyone around you agreed. This is the cultural water we're swimming in that we mistake for universal truth. The chains on your mind weren't there at birth. People put them there, and those chains are completely removable. The longer they've been there, the harder they are to take off. But if you're stubborn enough, determined enough, you can break free. Culture becomes invisible because it's everywhere. When everyone around you thinks the same way, it starts looking like reality, like the only option, like truth itself. And questioning it feels dangerous. It feels like betrayal, because examining the beliefs you inherited means accepting responsibility for what you actually think. It means doing the hard work of discernment. It means risking conflict with your community. It means losing the safety of, this is just how things are done. So most people don't question. They operate on borrowed beliefs their entire lives, never realizing they're wearing someone else's chains. Let me show you what this looks like across the world. Not theories, real costs being paid right now. In Kenya, voting often happens before thinking. Political loyalty is inherited along tribal lines, long before policy, competence, or character ever enter the conversation. Young people who have never experienced tribal violence still organize their trust, fear, and future around identities they didn't choose. Education doesn't interrupt this. Modern cities don't interrupt this. You can have a degree, a career, and global access, and still cast decisions based on identity installed before you were old enough to question it. Leaders exploit this programming because it works, and the real cost isn't corruption or instability. It's population trained to defend an identity instead of evaluate reality. That's the prison of inherited identity, a system where belonging is chosen for you. Thinking is treated as betrayal, and loyalty replaces discernment long before truth ever gets a chance. In Japan, the cultural programming around work has a name, karoshi, death by overwork. People literally die at their desks because the culture says your worth is measured by sacrifice for the company. Taking time off means you're weak. Leaving you before your boss means you're disloyal. So people work themselves into early graves, and everyone calls it dedication instead of what it actually is, programming that values productivity over human life. That's the prison of worth through sacrifice. A culture where your right to exist is earned by exhaustion, and rest feels like moral failure instead of human necessity. It kills people long before their bodies give out. In the USA, we don't just admire famous people, we worship them. We turn ordinary humans into symbols of success, beauty, wisdom, and worth. Then we quietly measure ourselves against the image they're selling, a curated life, a filtered body, a rehearsed vulnerability, a highlight reel presented as reality. And somewhere along the way, the comparison becomes automatic. You don't even notice you're doing it. You just feel behind, less than, inadequate, in ways you can't quite name. The damage isn't envy, it's distortion. We start believing that a meaningful life should be visible, that success should look impressive, that growth should be dramatic and public. Quiet progress feels like failure. Ordinary days feel like wasted potential. Real lives begin to look small when held against performance, designed to attract attention. At the same time, we place these famous humans on impossible pedestals. We expect insight, moral clarity, perfection. We treat them as if visibility has transformed them into something more than human, then act shocked when humans behave like humans. When they fail, contradict themselves, or fall apart, the disillusionment hits hard. The idol shatters. Another one takes its place. And through it all, the comparison continues. Not because those people are better, but because the culture has taught you to confuse image with essence, to confuse attention with value, to forget that what you're comparing yourself to isn't a life at all. It's a product. That's the invisible prison. You don't feel oppressed. You feel insufficient. And as long as you believe you're less than an image, you'll never see the worth of the life you're actually living. Here's how to know if a belief is yours or just borrowed. Ask yourself, if I was raised somewhere else, would I still believe this? If the answer is no, what you're defending isn't truth, it's programming. Here's another one. Did I choose this belief after careful thought, or did I absorb it from my surroundings? Most of you can't answer honestly because you've never asked the question. Look at the image. It's lemons. Lemons are bitter by themselves, like truth. But add sugar and water and you get lemonade. The lies your culture taught you are the lemons. Bitter, hard to swallow. But once you recognize them as lies, you get to decide what to do with them. You can transform your life within the culture you're in. But here's the thing about making lemonade. You have to squeeze the lemons first. You have to crush them, extract what's inside, see them for what they really are. That's the hard part. That's the part most people avoid. They'd rather keep drinking bitter water and calling it sweet because everyone else is drinking it too. You want freedom? Start squeezing. Question everything you were taught to accept. Examine every belief you inherited. Challenge every, that's just how things are. The mental chains are removable, but only if you're willing to see them first. Some of you are so attached to your chains that you'll fight anyone who points them out. You'll defend your prison because it's familiar, because everyone you know is in the same prison, because breaking free means standing alone for a while. But those chains will never turn into freedom on their own. The lies will never become truth because you believe them long enough. The cultural programming will never stop being programming just because it's old. You either wake up and think for yourself or spend your entire life living someone else's truth. The lemons are already in your hand. What you make of them is up to you.